Hello, and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Pollyanna. Chapter 19, A New Uncle. The winter passed slowly. Pollyanna missed school and was eager to see many friends she had made there. She passed much of the time knitting bright-colored things and being glad, like Mrs. Snow. She had her arms and legs, and she had her arms and hands, even though her legs didn't work. Dr. Chilton could not keep his mind off Pollyanna. He was very fond of the little girl and could not bear to think of her suffering. "I must examine that child," he told John Pendleton a few months after the accident. "But Miss Polly Harrington once told me that if she ever let into her house again, it would mean that she wanted to be forgiven and to marry me. But why can't you go without waiting for an invitation?" "I do have some professional pride," said the doctor. "I just can't offer my advice when it isn't asked for. But I do believe that Pollyanna can walk again. I hate to see my old quarrel with her aunt get in the way." Mr. Pendleton listened closely. "Pollyanna's case sounds like one that a friend of mine treated," Dr. Chilton said. "This is his special field of study. Now I must find a way to see the little girl." "How can we make it happen?" asked Mr. Pendleton. "Darned if I know." "Oh, by jinks, I know," thought Jimmy Bean, who was working in the garden outside Mr. Pendleton's house and heard the conversation through the window. He raced to the Harrington house and begged Nancy to let him see Miss Polly. "I want to see you because of Pollyanna," he spoke up bravely. "When I tell you it's only pride, or something like that, it's keeping Pollyanna from maybe walking again. Maybe you'll let Dr. Chilton come." "What are you saying?" Miss Polly fairly shouted with anger. "How dare you come here and speak to me like this?" "I don't want to make you angry, ma'am, but if it means Pollyanna walking again—" "Now tell me exactly what you do mean," Miss Polly said more gently. "Well, Dr. Chilton came to see Mr. Pendleton, and they were walking in the library, and the window was open. I was working outside in the garden, and I couldn't help but overhear." "Very well, Jimmy, go on." "Well, ma'am, Dr. Chilton knows some doctor somewhere that maybe can help Pollyanna, but he wants to see her before he calls that doctor, and he says he can't see her because you wouldn't let him in." "But Jimmy, I can't. I explained to Pollyanna that I can't allow Dr. Chilton to come here." "I hope you change your mind, ma'am," he replied, "because it sure would mean a lot to Pollyanna." As soon as the boy left, Miss Polly instructed Dr. Warren to call Dr. Chilton in discussing Pollyanna's case. He arrived that same day. "Pollyanna, today you have done one of the gladdest things you have in your whole life," Dr. Chilton greeted her when she came into her room. That evening, a new Aunt Polly, soft, gentle, and beaming with happiness, came to sit on the edge of the little girl's bed and said, "Next week you're going to take a trip to see a famous doctor, a friend of Dr. Chilton's, who will try to make your legs better." Then she gave her niece a very surprising piece of news. "Pollyanna, you are the first to know. I'm going to give Dr. Chilton to you for your uncle. And you made it happen. I'm so happy. So glad." Miss Polly and Nancy helped Pollyanna pack her things for the trip to the doctor. The big house seemed quiet and empty when she was gone, but Pollyanna's letter a month later brought good news. "Dear Aunt Polly and Uncle Tom, oh, I can walk. I did today all the way from my bed to my window. It was 6 steps. Oh, how good it was to be on the legs again." All the doctors stood around and smiled, and all the nurses stood beside them and cried. A lady in the next ward who walked last week peeked in the door, and another one who hopes she can walk next month was invited to the party. And she lay in my nurse's bed and clapped her hands. Even Tilly, who watches the floor, looked through the window and called me "honey child" when she wasn't crying too much to call me anything. I don't see why they cried. I wanted to sing and shout and yell, "Oh, just think I can walk, walk, walk." Now I don't mind being here almost 10 months. And I did miss the wedding anyhow. Wasn't that just like you, Aunt Polly, to come here and get married right beside my bed so I could see you? You always do think of the gladdest things. Pretty soon, they say I should go home. I wish I could walk all the way there. I do. I don't think I shall ever want to ride anywhere anymore. We'll be glad just to walk. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad for everything. Why, I'm glad now that I lost my legs for a while, for you never know how perfectly lovely legs are till you haven't got them. Legs that go, I mean. I'm going to walk 8 steps tomorrow with heaps of love to everybody, Pollyanna. And that's the end of Pollyanna. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.